Blog Talk Radio.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Let's Talk Jets Radio. This is one of your hosts, Tyson Roush, and I think our software is finally friggin' working. So for the last, 6 weeks, I've been trying to figure out this goddamn software, and it looks like it may be working where we can actually take callers, and it's not going to sound like shit. So if you want to follow the show on Twitter and Instagram, it's at Talk Jets Radio. On YouTube, it's Let's Talk Jets Radio. If you want to follow me, T-Roush21, got Kevin Sirkin Primetime doing his thing. And we're trying, this show is not really, we're not experts. If you want X's and O's and breakdowns and all this expert analysis, this isn't the show for you because we don't do that. We're just fans, longtime fans, diehard fans that share our opinions based on lessons learned, based on what we've seen in the past, and just as football fans. So, like I said, if you're looking for expert analysis, probably want to tune out now. If you want to have some fun, some laughs, and some good arguments, this is the place to be. And I'm going to bring out my good friend Tyrone, who's bailing me out while I try to figure out this goddamn software. Tyrone, what's up, man?
What's going on, man? Actually, I'm extremely excited, to be able to help in any way I can. This show is, it's a relief.
Don't start this shit, man. You're a celebrity now. We do one show together, and now you do interview requests, now you're signing autographs. You already do. I'm surprised you could schedule me in, man. I'm honored you had time for me right now.
Hey, well, baby, listen, man, this is always going to be home for me, baby. So this is where it all started at, man. But all jokes aside, man, I love, the product you guys put out, you you, Jay, Primetime Joe. You guys, man, you guys are released, man, when people are just, going through a weird time of life, man. So to talk Jets, like you said, I'm not an expert. I'm a fan who loves this team. And I'm always going to be a fan who loves this team, good or bad. So anything I can do to help, I'm here, man. Let's go, baby.
And the interesting thing, Tyrone, over the last, I'd say 6 to 8 weeks, we used to do a show every Tuesday religiously for 4 or 5 years, and the times were so strange now where it was there were times we were just dude, the last thing I want to do is talk football or even think about it because there were so many more pressing things going on, and then it's you cross the line where it's you're just, the world's just fucked up, and then then you don't want to talk about the same boring shit everybody else is talking about. You know what I mean? People talking about, you have the same old rankings and the same old shit, and it's the same. And it's the last thing, if I'm bored reading them, we're going to be bored talking about them, and nobody wants to listen to it. So it's it's so hard to generate things to, to kind of talk about. We did the fan series, which has been a lot of fun, but you know what I mean? It's been hard to kind of keep fresh content out there.
Well, it's this time of season where everything is dead anyway. So it's dead. No, it's the guys aren't getting signed. Really don't have a lot of news going on, so every story is becoming a story. The Sam story, Sam having his Miami camp, which I thought was a beautiful thing, big story. Jamal making a comment, big story. So everything gets blown out of proportion because there's really no sports. And anybody who's an avid sports fan, it's not only of football, but basketball and baseball or boxing, mixed martial arts. We love what this is, NASCAR, whatever. Not being able to watch that is miserable. How hard it is to watch SportsCenter and they're showing movies? Bro,
yep.
I'm watching SportsCenter and they're showing me a movie. So, I just think that at this time, man, we still got to, have some kind of sense of what we had before. Just because the world is changing, man, don't mean we have to change. It's something new. It's something that no one expected and no one has ever experienced in our lifetime. So right now, it's just trying to survive and trying to keep a peaceful mind. If you notice, man, it seems like everybody's uptight and upwinded, and there's so much stuff going on with the national media and everyone's changing and protesting, and just life in general is so hard right now. And for this moment that you guys give on Tuesdays, man, it's a relaxation, man. At the end of the day, whether we're just talking about nothing, it's still taking your mind off the stuff that's draining us every day. So for me, it's an outlet, and I appreciate it, and I'm pretty sure all the fans out there appreciate it as well. So.
Yeah, no, it's interesting. The fan series has been pretty cool because you see people just talking about their lives as fans and stuff, and I'm you try to avoid the same topic everybody keeps talking about. But Tyrone, I got a treat for you, man, because I have some topics for you tonight because I thought about some shit in my free time here, and I'm dangerous, dude. You give me free time, dude, I'm dangerous as hell. So the one interesting thing is, over last week, the Dallas Cowboys and the Houston Texans both, they had some players test positive for COVID, which I think once the season comes back, if there's not a vaccine, which there's probably not going to be, this is going to be a concern for every team. And they're going to have to do a litany of testing. You know, like the UFC has it down to a science where the data fighters report, they get tested, they go into isolation. Once they're cleared and they're negative, they can do the next activity. Then they get tested like 2 or 3 times during a 4-day period just for their fights. So the NFL is going to have to do the same thing. But here's my question for you. If this even happens with the NFL, you know, if the Jets' backup plan with Sam Darnold right now is Joe Flacco, but Joe Flacco is not healthy, and there's a very good chance, according to reports, that he won't be ready for the first 2 weeks of the season. God forbid Sam tests positive or something happens. Is the Jets' backup plan really make sense, or should they really even try to find somebody else? Because if your backup plan is Joe Flacco and he's not even healthy for a couple of weeks, are you going to go in there with David Fales and your rookie as your like? Is that something the Jets should even consider right now?
Well, what I was seeing is the league has to decide on what they're going to do. I think it was Sean Payton that made the idea of having a backup quarterback that doesn't interact with none of the team. You know, I mean, having a backup for the backup, just because of this is something that's unheard of and unchallenged.
So who is that? David Fales?
I think that I don't know if it's David Fales, if it's somebody that Gates had in the system before. But I think that has to be some kind of way in the back of his mind, something that he has in store. I mean, I think that it should be, you know, with this season right here being so different, I think that having a normal 53-man roster is going to have to change a little bit because you don't know what's going to happen. What if all 3 quarterbacks test positive? They're all in the same room. You know what I'm saying? So you have to have a contingency plan for anything that happens. And I think that, you know, having a quarterback that's going through the meetings and stuff like that and keeping him separated away from everyone might be a smart idea. I mean, because this is uncharted territory. I mean, you can really look at it, bro. Like, if we have 3 quarterbacks in the same room that all test positive, so for 2 weeks we don't have a quarterback. You feel me? So that has to be some kind of plan, you know. But that comes down to coaching. That comes down to general manager planning ahead. For me, I always plan for the worst, hope for the best. And I'm hoping that these guys have a contingency plan for something like that.
But the contingency plan, though. But my point is, listen, I agree with you. But my point is that, you know, say Sam is the only one that tests positive. God forbid, like we don't wish it on nobody. But it's like, you know, after his mono last year, nothing would fucking surprise me at this point. But if his backup is Joe Flacco, right? But if his backup is Joe Flacco and Joe Flacco can't play for 2 weeks because of his arm or whatever the hell in his neck, then it's like, all right, well then your backup plan is really David Fales. And is that the right way to go? Like, to me, I'm like, you know what? If these are protocols we have to follow, like you said, it's unprecedented. I sign another veteran quarterback and be like, listen, man, we like, and I like Flacco. I like the idea of him being there. I think he's a mentor or Super Bowl. You know, like I get it, all that stuff. But we need a healthy backup quarterback. It's week 1, and you know, and I don't want to mail in games like we did last year, saying, okay, well, you know, Sam can't make it. We're just going to play David Fales for this game against Buffalo on the road and the 49ers. Like, they mailed in games last year. I don't want to do it this year. And I'm interested to see how this plays out.
Absolutely. But like I said, what about Matt Moore? Somebody like that. Signing someone like that.
That's why I wanted the first.
Acclimate with the system. Exactly.
Absolutely.
You know, that has to be – see, this is what the league has to do. They have to come up with a plan like this to allow these guys an extra roster spot or 2 for essential players. I mean, like, you can't really go in. Like I said, if something happens where we don't have a quarterback, we don't want to go in and put up that product that we had last year. It's going to be very difficult. And, like, I think Houston, from what all reports, Houston and Dallas has done everything correctly. But you don't know. If one player gets it, then, you know, you're exposing the whole team for that. What if half of your team is out because of COVID? And God forbid that. But you have, you know, they're gone for 14 days. That's 2 weeks. And from what they're saying now, the side effects from what happens when your body's recovering is worse than having it seems. So, you know, not knowing what this is and the dangers of this right here, you know, you don't want anybody to be injured or life-threatening situations. I mean, like I said, these guys are really putting their lives on the line to you know what I'm saying, to provide entertainment for us, man. So I just hope and pray that they come up with a solution that's beneficial for everybody. I think that the 53-man roster probably is not going to be the answer this year. I think because everything is so weird. I mean, you have to allow certain situations for certain situations. You don't know what's going to happen.
Yep. You know, and the thing is, like, you know, when the UFC does it, and this is the only thing I know because I follow it closely, is when the fighters check in, the minute they get tested, they're in isolation by themselves. They're 2 coaches. That's it. So you figure this, and that's a very small scale. You figure you have 20 guys on a fight card plus their coaches. You have maybe 50 people. The NFL, like you have a 53-man roster, 55-man roster. Then you have all the coaches, the training staff. I mean, you have hundreds of people, man. Like it's going to be interesting to see how the NFL handles this because to isolate people and then once they get tested, you say, okay, you're negative now. To keep these people away from the problem, like you got to say, okay, listen, you got to stay in a hotel or you got to stay in a team facility. You can't leave because we don't know what you're getting into. You know what I mean? Like it's going to be very, very tough to manage.
And not only that, Tyson, you have people in the building like trainers. You have food service. You have cleaners. You have a litany of people in the building. You have office people in the building on a daily basis. So a major outbreak could spread in one area. So, I mean, like I said, man, I would hate to be a GM right now because you're coming up with every contingency plan you could think of because there's so many moving pieces and so many moving factors, you know what I'm saying, and compared to a 53-man roster that's in the building every single day, plus 10 practice squad, plus your trainers, plus your equipment guys, plus, you know what I mean, it's just a litany of people in the building. So that's dangerous. I mean, but hopefully,
training camp's 90 guys. It's 90 guys in training camp, dude. They're freaking. I mean, that's even more.
And could you imagine someone having COVID? Someone having COVID that's not going to make the team. Like you know what I'm saying? They get the whole team infected. That's not even going to be on the roster. That is, it's scary, bro. It's very scary.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, so you figure, the Jets. It's got to be interesting to see how they handle prominent players. Do they keep them isolated? Like say Sam or whoever else. Then it's like you talked about, how you handle your roster, which is just, it's going to be, I don't even understand how half this is going to happen, to be honest with you. There's so many moving parts with this. And then it goes back to, well, you said you hate to be a general manager. I hate to be the NFL coach because John Harbaugh is one of my favorite coaches. And I campaigned for him for years to come to the Jets. I love him as a head coach. And he's got a very good pulse of what goes on. And he's already complaining about the restrictions of coaching. Now, that's one of the best coaches, one of the best teams in the NFL. Could you imagine being Adam Gase, who has a team that's being completely rebuilt, a revamped offensive line where you could have four new starters, maybe even 5 or maybe 3, whatever. You have 2 new receivers. The amount of coaching that is required in such a short period of time, and now you add in these kind of concerns. Like, dude, you've got to be really innovative to be able to get your schemes taught to these players without a lot of physical contact. It's going to be challenging, man.
That's why everyone is talking about, good football in the beginning. It's going to be teams that are already settled, that's already established, already have their players in place. Teams that are adding a lot of new people are going to struggle because you don't have time to get these guys acclimated. So it comes down to this. This is where you're going to find out who's a good coach and who's a bad coach. Like if Adam Gase comes out the gate and we're 8-0, he's a great coach because you had to perform a miracle.
Did you just say 8-0?
Hey, listen.
Did you say like 2-0?
I'm just 8-0. Hey, listen. I'm just throwing a scenario out there. Listen, if he comes out there and does something to that degree with the circumstances, then you have to give him credit that the light came on in his head and he figured things out. Because you're adding in, you're looking for your rookies to be part of your equation. The new offensive lineman, you look for these guys to be part of the equation. You know what I'm saying? So you need these guys to perform and perform at a high level. And these guys aren't getting half the information that they would normally get. So, it's going to really be up to these coaches to coach these guys up. So that's going to be really important for us, man, moving forward in this season right here, especially for the Jets aspect of it, what we plan on doing.
Yeah, I mean, to me, there's a lot of pressure on Gase to begin with, and then you add in all this uncertainty and all these unknowns, and it's just like, you need an excellent staff from top to bottom, from Joe Douglas. I mean, they need to be sitting there 24 hours a day trying to figure things out. It's almost like they're almost like the government right now, where the facts of what we're dealing with change almost every day. You got to modify your training program almost every day to accommodate what the hell's going on in this world. And it's interesting. Like, everybody keeps saying the season's going to start on time. Dude, I just don't understand how they're going to do it. And this isn't being like, scared or fear, whatever. It's just, I don't understand the logistics of it, how they're going to do it when, you have the Cowboys and Texans trying to do like little workouts by themselves and guys are testing positive. I mean, there's so much shit going on, man. It's crazy.
And then on top of that, I was listening not too long ago. They were talking about having the Hall of Fame game on time. That's August. You know what I'm saying? That's August. So you think my guys reporting around the 13th or 14th of July. getting started. I mean, and actually, ain't it Dallas and the Texans are supposed to be reporting?
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
So and
the
other thing too is the other thing too is the conditioning where this time of year you start doing your OTAs, your mini camps. You have you kind of get a pulse of where your players are at in terms of do they got to gain weight, lose weight, what kind of shape they're in. If they miss out on all these activities where they can only do limited workouts, stuff like that, and your first check-in date is the end of July or beginning of August, then you got to worry about what physical shape are they in, and then that's where the injury bug kicks in, where guys aren't completely in shape. They start pulling hamstrings and pulling groins and shit like that, and that's again, dude, that is on your training staff, which the Jets they got rid of their friggin' coach, but that's on your training staff. Say, listen, we're reporting in a month. Start running, start doing this, start stretching. You make sure your diet's tight because you got to put this in the hands of the players now to make sure they're doing the right thing when they report.
Well, these guys are professionals. So, I mean, but if you look at it, you see a lot of guys working out. These guys are used to a certain schedule. So, a lot of these guys are doing what they're supposed to be doing. I think the biggest problem is going to be probably linemen. I mean, sitting around the house eating all day. You can't go work out. But, that's
I feel their pain.
But as for receivers, running backs, cornerbacks, linebackers, receivers, these guys are working out daily. These guys, they know what they're supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? So that part of it I'm not overly concerned about. It's just, maybe some veterans might, have an issue, or maybe some rookies. But other than that, the guys that are really supposed to do what they're supposed to do are doing what they're supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? That's just what it is. I mean, that they're used to this season. It's something new, but they're used to being off around this time, finishing up OTAs, getting ready for training camp. So this is the time that they're normally, self-working out or going over tape or getting together and, just tossing the ball around, running routes, doing stuff like that. I don't know if you watched the video, but Sam, man, he was really out there coaching these guys out.
Are you going to give me analysis now? Are we gonna do Instagram analysis now? We're gonna be like he's the best quarterback in shorts.
I can't give you analysis on the 8-second, cut up. I can't do that. But what I can give you analysis on is that I've been watching Sam all spring and all early summer working his ass off, footwork looking good, doing what he has to do, always putting in that work. That shows me that he wants to learn and he wants to be a leader. And I'm expecting big things from him this year. That's what shows leadership. You don't have to be a vocal leader, but when it comes time to work, you're there working. If you're the first one there, chin strap, buckle, ready to go, that shows everyone else that, look, if he's going to bring this kind of energy, I got to bring the same kind of energy as well. So I'm excited about what he's doing so far.
Yeah, no, I was just busting your chops. No, I agree, man. Like, listen,
I know.
Like Josh Allen did the same thing. Like, yeah, listen, I love the fact that he's taking a leadership role and trying to get these guys on the same page. And, he has no choice. I mean, there's not much he could do in terms of practicing. So anything he could do to help start teaching them the offense and ins and outs and everything is really cool. I mean, that's perfect. So a couple of stories came out that we could talk about. We could talk about today's news where the Jets, John Melody is gone, the head trainer, they're replacing him. And it's funny, you're like, oh, well, they had a rash of injuries last year to kind of blaming on him. And it's so funny because before Adam Gase came here, the injury problem was never, it wasn't around. Like, they were fine under Mangini and Bowles and everybody else. But then it's like, oh, we got to get rid of him. And I was like, well, that's what they're hinting towards. And I'm like, we're gonna kind of push this guy out, John Melody out. But you had the worst offensive line of football last year, and that guy was scot-free and just coming back with no problems. Some of the way the Jets do business, dude, it just cracks me up, man. It's just hysterical.
I absolutely agree with you. Remember when we signed Claiborne, and everyone was talking about how injury prone he was. He said the reason he signed with the Jets because they were one of the best training staffs in the league. Yep. And if you looked at prior to having Gage there, we haven't had these kind of issues. So I'm not blaming the trainer. Yeah, you had a really rough year with a lot of stuff going on, but maybe it's the way these guys are getting coached or practiced. It's something bigger than with the trainer. So, but like I said, we have to find an automatic scapegoat. That's what it is. You're going to fire your trainer, but you don't fire your offensive line coach from last year? Come on, man. You don't fire you don't fire the offensive coordinator, period. So, I don't know, man. Like I said, man,
the funny shit,
going
isn't
towards
it?
analytics. Yeah, absolutely. They're going towards analytics, trying to find, a new reason, a new place, a new form of doing things. And, that's what they got to do. Will they find the same shit that happened in Miami, or is that just saying too much now? Are we starting to go down that path again? Because we know it did, but whatever. Well, I'm gonna tell you this right here. Does it make sense to fire a trainer in the midst of what's going on, that you need somebody that can come in from day one and move forward? Does that make any sense to you? Because to me, that would be the wrong time of doing this thing. It's kind of like letting.
He promoted somebody, so the guy was still in the house, but still, and they do it. They do it June 16th. Why not do it in like friggin' April?
Hey, Tyson, hold on. We're talking about the same team that let their last general manager go through free agents, pick the draft, and then fire his ass, bro. Come on, man. Why are you surprised in the situation? I'm not shocked. I mean,
you know what's funny?
That was the dumbest thing I've ever seen, bro. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's like, you know what? I used to worry about, like, I'm going to be honest, I used to worry about the feedback of the shows and like, oh, my God, they're going to say he's bashing Gase again, and, oh, here we go again, same old bullshit. I'm like, hey, listen, it doesn't make sense. Like, it's fair to say that, but then, lo and behold, Tyrone, this is not me. Rich Cimini, ESPN New York, he tweets this out today. It was like music to my ears. And his tweet was, Gase has called plays since 2013 with Denver, Chicago, Miami, and New York. His non-Manning-led offense have struggled badly, as the past 4 have been well below average in snaps, and 4 of the 5 have been run-heavy and well below average in touchdowns. And that's from Mike Clay in the NFL. Dude, this is not me. This is a story that came out, and it's the same shit we've been saying. But when we say we're just moronic fans that are haters, but now it's just so funny that other people are starting to see this now.
Well, what's so crazy, Tyson, is like the last show, we really thought we were going to get bust over. Fans know. Like, they know what's going on. Like, I mean, I understand that we have to be optimistic, and I understand that we got to believe in our coach and our team. But listen, I can't lie to myself. If my eyes see something, then it's true to me. If we watch this guy not perform. And this is the issue I have, man. And anyone knows, we're diehard Jet fans. But, like, we want a better product. We have a franchise quarterback so we've never had. We have Le'Veon Bell. You know what I'm saying? Like, listen, I'm sorry. There's no excuse for that. We watched our offensive line play. I watched our offensive line straight miss blocks. I mean, in every single game. So somebody has to be held accountable for that. Somebody has to answer to me why is this team has some talent, not top 10 talent, but some talent, we're watching a bad product. No, I don't want to see my offensive coordinator and my head coach sitting on the bench looking at a damn cabinet looking lost as fuck. That makes no sense to me. I don't want to see that. And that's what he's done. I mean, but having the guy like Sam take, the point that got me last year is he was like, well, Sam came in my office and told me you want to change something. I was like, about time. Bruh, listen, man, if that was not the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life, you're the head coach and you waiting for Sam to come. No, listen, that's not his job. This kid is 23 years old. He needs to be guided and nurtured and taught correctly. I understand, you might have a great way of calling plays. You work with Peyton Manning, one of the best to ever do it. You made Jay Cutler look good, no problem. Make us look better. Because the product you put out in Miami and the product we've seen so far with us is not cutting it. It's not. It's not.
I agree. It's just funny. Like, that's why, looking at this year, I think there's so much pressure on Gase to do big things with this offense. Or not big things. I'm sorry. Just not be last. I mean, make it top 20, top 18. But, Tyrone, the question I have for you, see, I did some homework today for you, man. I'm prepared for this shit tonight. Okay. How many impact players, like legitimate game-breaking players, do the New York Jets have on offense? And I will give you Sam Darnold. I think Sam Darnold's definitely one. I'll give you Le'Veon Bell. If used correctly, he could do that. How many other ones do you think they have?
How you going to steal the top 2, bro? Nah,
it's too easy, man. If you want easy shit, go on a different podcast, Mr. Celebrity.
I'm going to say, here we go. I'm going to say this right here. I'm definitely going to say Herndon, and I'm definitely going to say Crowder. I think that in the right situation, if Herndon is healthy, I think he definitely could be a game breaker. I thought that what we saw from him prior to him being hurt the year before that, he showed a lot of up. We had big plans for him last year, and Crowder had 80-some catches, almost 76 to 80 catches last year. So I think those two right there are definitely, game breakers. I think that having a Le'Veon Bell and having a Sam Darnold and having those 4 pieces right there is enough to get us, some wins. I mean, you have talent. Anybody else, I really can't say that we have anybody else. I really don't think that, we have anybody else that I can really count on right now to say game breaker. I think Mims will be okay, in time. Other than that, I mean, the other receivers, they are proven. I mean, it sounds good. It looks good. They look good on paper. Perriman had 3 great games last year, what I'm saying? But what about the other, 12 games? So at the end of the day, I'm going to say those 2. I'm going to say Crowder and I'm going to say Herndon. Other than that, Sam and Le'Veon, there's no more game breakers available on our team.
So is that now my follow-up question, because I'm not going to let you off easy here, is that enough talent to have a legitimate offense in the NFL?
I think right now, it depends on two things. I think it depends on Sam Darnold and it depends on Le'Veon Bell. I think if Le'Veon runs the ball and Sam's able to have time back there, I think Sam can destroy any defense to put in front of him with time and a great running game. So I can say yes. I can say that I'm not looking for us to be a top 10 offense, but definitely 15 to 20, I definitely can see that. I think Sam's going to make a major leap this year.
So in your opinion, Adam Gase has enough weapons, enough impact players on offense to justify or warrant a top 20 offense?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I think if Sam does what he's supposed to do, Le'Veon does what he's supposed to do, absolutely. I mean, listen, the 2 factors you put in are the 2 biggest pieces on the team. Sam Darnold and Le'Veon Bell. To me, that's what's going to determine our season. That's what's going to determine how good we be. You know what I'm saying?
See, I'm adding another one, though.
Oh, yeah.
The one that you didn't mention that I'm going to throw in there, I have like a 1.5 more players I want to add. To me, Becton could be that. To me, Becton could be that, especially in the run game. If he could be a man amongst boys and start mauling people and setting a tone on offense, that is a ridiculous big threat for this team, especially at left tackle, man. That could change the landscape of things. And the other one could be the center. I mean, to me, last year, the offense, the 2 biggest holes that they had was the freaking center and left tackle were a nightmare. So if those guys can play, especially Becton, if he can start just becoming a dominant force, or even McGovern could be a dominant force, dude, that could make an impact on this offense where you can start doing your running game and it opens everything up. So I agree with you with Herndon, Crowder. I mean, I'm not going to go Mims. I'm not going to go Perriman. I think they're kind of like complementary players. But I think what are your thoughts on Becton, man? He could be an impact player, dude, if he can just start mauling people.
You know what's so
I'm
crazy?
I'm putting pressure on him, dude. Right now, I'm doing it.
Man, listen, pressure busts pipe, baby. I'm cool as the other side of the pillow, man. Listen, I think Becton will be okay. I'm
okay.
Without OTAs. Listen, his first season or his first couple of games getting acclimated to the league. Without OTAs, it's hard to really determine how fast he's going to pick up this offense, how fast he's going to understand, checks, audibles and stuff like that. So I'm not looking for him to be dominant his first 4 or 5 games. Going against Buffalo, going against San Francisco, those are real defenses. That's not going against the slouches. Their ends, their outside linebackers are solid. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's for Connor. I think that you're probably right on that. You know what I'm saying? I probably missed that. But I think that his impact on the line is going to mean everything. His impact with Sam is going to mean everything. I think that improved running game, improved offensive line should improve Le'Veon Bell. I definitely believe that. If you want to be technical, then I'm going to say the whole offensive line. Because as a whole, if they improve, we'll win.
But I'm talking about game-breaking players, like players that you can start riding. Like if Becton starts becoming a force, and you can say, listen, we can run to the left every time, and that's the kind of, you can't say a whole offensive line. But now, so in your opinion, the offense has enough talent to warrant top 20. So our expectation should be that we have enough playmakers to do that. On defense, it gets really interesting because the story came out this week about Quinton Williams where he's dieting, he's not eating Oreos, and he's strength conditioning, and he's doing all these things. And listen, the kid's got talent, and I think he was overwhelmed on and off the field last year. There was many times where he was in position to get a sack, and he would jump over the guy's fucking head and just fall and trip, and God knows what the hell happened. I think a lot of it could get cleaned up. And to be honest with you, dude, he could be a very interesting player this year. And I'm not saying, all-pro or Aaron Donald, nothing like that, but if he gets his shit together, man, and can become an explosive force at the middle, you take him You take the return of C.J. Mosley, hopefully for 16 games, and then you have Jamal Adams at the middle. I mean, if you're looking at game-breaking talent on defense, I mean, the Jets have some players there. I mean, you wish you had more, but they can have some legit talent, man.
Absolutely. I think our defense is our stronghold. I think that, going back to the draft, I wanted Ed Oliver. I just thought he fit what we wanted to do better. But I think Quinton, it seems like to me we always get those defensive linemen that are just too damn nice. You know what I'm saying? I want somebody with a little grit and grimy to him. And I think Quinton Williams is getting towards that. I think that if he learns how to dominate, because he has all the tools to be great. I just think that getting acclimated to a new system, learning, picking up a whole new scheme and having a coach like Greg Williams. I mean, but also I think that having someone push him and ask him to do a better job or to do his job, I think that, he's definitely want to come out and perform better. He said what he wants to do. He wants to prove that he should have been the third pick of the draft. And if he comes up with that kind of mentality, I think he'll be fine. I mean, defensively, man, lacking one pass rusher, bro, we have a great defense. Even with the quarterbacks we brought in. Go ahead.
Yeah, if Quinton Williams, listen, I like him, man. You want to see him play well. You want to see him like he's young as hell. He's got C.J. Mosley is an excellent mentor for him. So you got to expect improved play from him. Now the question I have is the defensive line as a whole played very well. I mean, you had Basham and Shepard and McClendon and Fodakasi. I mean, a ton of guys all playing above their heads. So that's good. Yes. Now the question is, last year they did a lot of good things without C.J. Mosley. Assuming that C.J. Mosley is healthy, which we're all praying to God, or this contract's going to be a nightmare, if he comes back healthy, this defense gets interesting, man, because then you figure if you can get, say penetration up the middle, like your line is stout, he's going to run support, then Greg Williams can actually be more aggressive. There were times last year with no pass rush and you couldn't really stop anything. Your corners can't really do anything. Your corners couldn't cover. He couldn't blitz. He couldn't do a lot of things, man, because his hands are kind of tied due to injuries and everything else. You get Mosley back. You get improved Quinton Williams. Dude, Greg Williams is getting, new toys to play with, man.
Well, you got to look at last year, man. I mean, listen, I don't care what anyone says. Greg Williams did a tremendous job last year. I mean, it's like, man, he performed a miracle. I mean, you imagine your whole defense is out? You have 11 players on defense, and you've probably been with 5 of your top players all season. I mean, every week you have to adjust for someone else. Every week you have to change the middle line. How many times did we change middle linebackers last year? 3 or 4 different occasions.
And they all played well.
Exactly. So that goes to coaching. So imagine everyone being back, and Greg Williams being able to do what he wants to do. And like I said, our defensive line surprised me. Shepard, Foss, these guys stepped up last year. Bash, these guys really played well last year. So can you imagine these guys getting a year better, having C.J. Mosley back, having improved cornerback play, and having somebody like Jamal just being able to run around and do whatever the hell he wants to do. Bro, I'm excited about that. That's the one thing I think is going to keep us in games this year. It's the one thing that our defense is going to travel. Our defense against anybody's offense, I think we're going to be okay. But like I said, it's early in the season. I would have loved to see this team with the OTAs, with the rookie minicamp. Get these guys in. Like we said, Bryce Hall. These are the kind of guys I really want to get acclimated because I think that in the long run, when it's all said and done, these guys are going to really, really make real big strides. I'm not counting on any of these rookies to perform this year or half the season. I'm not counting on it. Now, by half the season, I think these guys will really be able to start contributing. But the guys that we had last year, defensively, are going to be a lot better. And with C.J. Mosley coming back, he's the best middle linebacker in the NFL. You know what I'm saying? And so what happened to him last year, he's never been hurt in his career. He missed one game prior to last year. So, I think he'll be back. He'll be stronger and better than ever. And I think he'll lead our team the way he's supposed to and earn the contract he earned.
Yeah, listen, I agree. The return of Mosley, and then the other thing is, it's I was thinking about this all day today. Wow, this defense where it's the whole Quinton Williams thing really intrigued me. Getting Mosley back healthy is vital. I mean, I like the way Burgess played, I like the way Hewitt played. They all played very well, but Mosley's he'd be phenomenal. And then it's if you can get something out of these corners. I mean, the Jets have, they add a bunch of guys. You have Pierre Desir, you got Bryce Hall, you got all these guys, Quincy Wilson, and you get Brian Poole back, Arthur Millette. You have guys that are, some of these guys are year 2, Bless Austin, year 2 in Greg Williams' defense, which means They should feel more comfortable. They could actually play better. The corner position, you get Nate Hairston. The corner position could, if you get better play there, dude, like the flexibility you have with Jamal Adams and Marcus May, and then, like you could do a lot, man, with this team. You can show all kinds of crazy looks.
It changes everything that we want to do. I mean, like, you can understand, last year, man, we were at the disadvantage of every single game. We were down corners every single game. We were down linebackers every single game. I don't know 3 games that we had the same starting defensive players from week 1 through 10 having the same players in, on week through 11. It was horrible. So having players that could definitely come in and attribute from day one definitely make Greg Williams' mind move a lot faster. I mean, but we have talent. This is the problem. Having so many players we hurt last year, it made us look like we were a bad defense when really we were top defense. We were number 1 against the run for majority of the season. I think we finished number 3 against the run. I think overall defense, I think we finished top 11, top 12. So that's not bad for what we put out there, for the players that we had hurt. So I mean, I'm okay with that. I mean, I'm okay with what happened last year, because I think last year we didn't fix every problem, but we put last year we put Band-Aids on stuff. This year right here, I think Joe Douglas tried his best to address almost every issue except pass rusher. Other than that, man, he's done a wonderful job. But and people don't understand, you cannot fix the problems we had in one season. We had major issues. We had major issues. So being able to fix majority of those issues in one off season and one draft, salute. Let's go. I mean, that's crazy.
Yeah, see, the thing is, like, you have, like, you the return of some players, which is going to help, the addition of some players, and then you have guys that are coming back that are in true prove-it situations where, Brian Poole, Jordan Jenkins, even Marcus May now looks like he's going to be out the door. These guys are playing for money, dude. Like, you want to play to win, you want to do this, but they're clearly playing for new contracts. So then they're in true prove-it years. I'll keep saying it. I'm shocked Jordan Jenkins didn't get more. I'm shocked Brian Poole didn't get more.
Well, Brian
but
Poole
you have
didn't
somebody
get more. Absolutely.
And now it's like, all right, they're coming back, and now you have guys you have guys on this roster that they're in prove-it years. They're legitimate prove-it years where it's like, listen, you took your 1-year contract, but now you got to show me something. If you show me something, you're going to make a lot more money than you're making now. And they have several guys on defense. Even Pierre Desir, dude. Pierre Desir's in the same friggin' boat too as a corner. He's not a spring chicken. He's playing for a contract. You got a lot of guys that are in that prove-it mode.
There's no way you told me we got Brian Poole and Jordan Jenkins back for the contract they signed for. I would not have believed you this offseason. I mean, and these guys played well last year. Double J had 7 sacks last year. Poole was probably ranked number 3, 1 through 3 slot corner in the league last year. So, I mean, I'm excited having these guys back. And I think that next year with the money we have, either we'll sign these guys or move on, but I hope not. I mean, sometimes you have to have consistency. Sometimes you have to pay the guys that's earned their contracts. And that's something that we haven't done in a long time. We haven't paid the guys that have done a good job, but we haven't had guys that has done a good job, like Double J. We drafted Double J, so yeah, I feel a certain kind of way about bringing him back because we've watched him grow. We watch him each year get better. You know what I'm saying? He didn't come in as a pass rush specialist. He didn't come in with that from college. He came in as a good, set the edge, good against the run type of guy, but he's improved every single year. So, in Poole, no one expected Poole to have the year he had last year. Played his ass off. So, anything that we do to improve in this year, definitely. If he wouldn't have got hurt last year, or Indy would have let him go, sky's the limit. And then having a coach like Greg Williams is going to get the best out of this guy, bro, I'm looking for our defense to make some noise next year. I'm looking for our defense to keep us in every game.
Yep. No, listen, I'm in the same boat. And then you have guys like Henry Anderson, who I like as a player, had an off year last year. He's playing for a contract. He knows he's not coming back. There's so many. It's so weird. Not weird. I guess it's the way the roster is set up. But you have guys that are legitimately playing for their contract and probably elsewhere. They're not playing to be here. They're playing for somewhere else. Even Le'Veon Bell possibly too. But so we both agree there's a lot of But how many true impact players would you say is on defense? You could say Mosley. You could say Jamal Adams. Who else would you consider a true impact game-breaking player?
I said Quinton Williams. I said Marcus May.
Really?
Yes, definitely. I think, yes. I mean, listen, number one, Marcus May is probably the best top 5 free safety in the league. He gets overshadowed by the great Jamal Adams. But if he was on any other team,
he gets overshadowed because Greg Williams puts him 25 yards behind the freaking line of scrimmage.
Exactly, but he's the last line of defense. That's the most important. That's the most important piece of the defense. The guy who stops the touchdowns from happening. So I think Marcus May. I think Quinton Williams as well. I think if he plays like we drafted him to play, definitely an impact player. I don't know, man. Like I'm kind of stuck at that moment right there. I'm trying to figure out who else I would think would definitely be an impact player. I can say Double J, but I can't say impact. I can't just say that I'm expecting him to make a major impact. I think I expect consistency from him. I said Brian Poole. If I had to pick someone else, I would say Brian Poole, and I would say Brian Poole for this reason right here. He played his ass off last year, and we gave him every tough assignment last year, and he answered the bell. So with improved cornerback play, he's going to be targeted next year. So if he plays like he played last year, it'll definitely be a reason why we win.
No, it's interesting, man. And so if you had to pick 2 sleeper players, one on offense, one on defense, who would they be?
I'm gonna say, this might shock you. I'm gonna say Mims. As my offensive player, I'm gonna say Mims, and I'm gonna say Mims because if he everything in me says this kid's a player. Everything I seen on tape says this kid's a player. It's just coming to a whole new league and doing what we've seen him do time in and time out. Defensively, wow. I'm gonna say Picasso. I'm gonna tell you why. I just think last year, if you watch some of his tape, he dominated. And I think this year right here, getting this opportunity, I think he might just really dominate. You watch his last 2 years, this kid has really got better, and he really dominated last year. So he's a sleeper for me. I think people overlook his talent, his size, but you watch the tape, don't lie, man. This kid looked really, really solid last year. And he had some amazing moves, and I don't know, he dominated. To me, in certain areas, he really, really dominated. What about you? Who do you like? That's your final 2 answers? That's who you're going to give me? I'll give you a chance to change your mind. Nah, I'm gonna ride with that, baby. Shit, I'm gonna stand on mine. Who are your 2 sleepers? I'm gonna preface my first one. I'm gonna give you some music first before I tell you who the guy is, just to kind of get this fired up. Here we go. Lord Jesus, Notre Dame.
Josh Adams, man, running back Josh Adams. I'm rolling with him because I obviously love Le'Veon Bell. I'm not a big. I understand the whole Frank Gore thing and Perrine, but I think Joe Douglas likes Josh Adams. I like the way he played in Notre Dame, so I think maybe if he gets some carries against the snaps, maybe he could be a little sleeper that sneaks in there. I'm kind of hoping. I was trying to find a wide receiver I believed in, but I just can't. I'd be lying to myself if I bought into the Vincent Smith stuff. So I really can't go there. I'm not going to go Josh Doxson. I just can't, man. Like I was trying so hard to give you some kind of like wild shit. I'm like, yeah, it's Trayvon Wesco, but I wouldn't even believe myself. That's the problem.
You talk so much trash to me when I said Vincent Smith last week. Bro, you went retarded on me, yo. Nah, buddy. I was waiting for that one to come out your mouth, for real. I was waiting on you to say something like that.
I could have said Kenneth Dixon and really went old school with like another running back, but it's just tough, man. There's not really an offense. I don't in my heart believe half this stuff. You know what I mean?
I mean, you listen, man, because you know that we lack talent. I mean, but as I would say this, let me ask you a real question then. So, are we better off than we were last year?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think so. I mean, the change
even with Robbie being gone, we're better off.
The biggest change, the biggest impact is offensive line, dude. Like if that offensive line, if you give Sam, I guess my answer is based on my belief of Sam Darnold. Like I think he's gonna be a star. I think he's gonna be great. Just give him time to throw the ball, and then he can make magic. So I think that right there, if the offensive line can hold their own, That's the biggest improvement over everything. That'll help everybody from top to bottom.
I feel the same way. I mean, I definitely feel the same way. I'm really looking for Sam to make a dramatic impact this year, man. I don't know. I just really believe in this kid, man. I think that when we moved up and got the third pick of the draft, and when Cleveland, being Cleveland, didn't take him, I think that, man, we just lucked into 10 or 12 years of great quarterback play. I think we just got to be patient with him. We have to support him and let him grow. This kid really wants to be good. He's not out there running his mouth. Could you imagine having Baker Mayfield or Josh Allen as our quarterback who's not accurate? Could you imagine our fan base having a quarterback like that? Nah, it wouldn't last. So having someone like Sam is what?
It's funny you mentioned Josh Allen because, we have this Twitter account, Talk Jets Radio, and it's been a mess all day today between fans arguing about Sam Darnold versus Josh Allen. And I understand why. And listen, I respect Bills fans. They had a very good year last year. They went to the playoffs. I was envious of them. Good for them. But, Josh Allen's gotten better. He definitely played much better the second year. But his situation, in my opinion, is so much better than Sam Darnold's right now. Don't you think, it's not really comparing apples to apples. It's just, it's just not the same situation. If you put Sam Darnold in Buffalo, they probably would have won more games. I think he would have flourished.
Bro.
You put Josh Allen on this team last year, it would have been a nightmare. I just think the situation is better in Buffalo right now.
I'm so sorry, and I'm not apologizing for this, man. I'm sorry. I could give two shits about Buffalo, man. I mean, I'm so tired of their fans, bro, talking about how good Josh Allen sucks. I mean, just put it out there and say it for what it is. If you don't like it, come at me. I don't have a problem saying it. He fucking sucks, bro. He is not a good quarterback. He's not. He's not accurate.
He had a good year last year, man.
Yeah, exactly. But he had a better damn team. If you put Sam Darnold on Buffalo last year, they're playing in the AFC Championship game. Period.
Yeah, but to be fair, it's year 2 for Josh Allen and a whole new NFL experience, and he's doing enough to win games, man. Listen, I think Sam is a better player.
Can he win?
Dude, he went to the playoffs.
Sam can win. No. His team won. His defense won. Can Josh Allen win you a game? Hell no. I'm sorry. Listen, apples to apples? Shit. It's apples to raw grapes. I'm sorry. There is no comparison, and no one can sit here and tell me that Josh Allen and Sam Darnold are in the same conversation. That is not even, no. You're not even on the same continent for that shit, bro. That's crazy. I'm sorry, Buffalo. I appreciate you love your team. There is no way you're going to tell me that Josh Allen compared to Sam Darnold. Better coach, better players, better surrounding cast, period. I'll give you that. But don't tell me that this kid is just a Knicks thing. No, he's not. He's not. I'm sorry. He's an inaccurate quarterback, exactly what he is. The film don't lie, period. And all that, you got Diggs. Went to the first game when Diggs run around and Josh Allen overthrows him by 90 feet. See how long that shit lasts for you, buddy. I'm telling you, man. It is what it is, bro. I'm sorry. I've been going back and forth on Facebook with these Buffalo fans talking about how we suck and Sam. What? You telling me you would rather have Josh Allen over Sam Darnold?
I don't have the hatred towards Josh Allen that everybody else does. I give the kid respect for improving every year. He finding a way to win. I don't think if he ever found a way to improve his accuracy, he'd be a decent quarterback. But he's just so erratic. But to me, to compare them to, I think Sam is a better quarterback, but Josh Allen is in a better situation, and Josh Allen right now will probably win more games than Sam based on that. And that's just because the Jets are, that's just where we are right now. And it's unfortunate. That's what sucks.
Okay, I'm going to say this, and I apologize. No, I'm not apologizing. I don't hate Josh Allen. I ain't having
Sounds like it, man. You got some Josh Allen anger, man. Damn.
No, I hate having a conversation that Josh Allen is better than Sam Darnold. That just shows your ignorance. And I don't want to talk. I don't like talking to ignorant people about football. Don't get me wrong. You love your quarterback. Yes, I think he's a young kid and he can get better and he'll probably will get better. But to tell me Josh Allen is better than Sam Darnold, there is no way you can make that argument in no comparison. None.
Well, I mean, it depends.
Yes,
But Tyrone, here's the deal. It depends on how you evaluate quarterbacks. And listen, do not get me wrong. Don't make me fucking defend Josh Allen because I don't want to. I'm just saying, if you look at last year.
You're trying over there. You're trying over there.
No, I'm not trying to do shit. I'm just saying, if you look at the results last year, how do you assess your quarterbacks? Sam was 7-6. Josh Allen was 10-6. Unfortunately, Sam got mono.
Better team,
and
better team.
Dude, and that's the whole thing. It's like that's why this conversation's crazy. Like people, because like the one guy was going after me, and I'm like, dude, I'm just an innocent observer here. Dude, Baker Mayfield struggled last year too because his coach was horrendous. They had an all-star cast around him, but the coach was awful. So there's so many factors go into a quarterback being good, and right now, Josh Allen's just in a better spot. Hopefully, Gase gets Darnold back to where he should be.
Let me ask you a question.
Okay.
Answer. You say yes or no. Who has a better head coach, Buffalo or Jets?
Oh, Buffalo.
Okay, last year, better offensive line, Buffalo or Jets?
Dude, Buffalo all the way around, and better targets around them, too.
Okay, exactly. So this is my point. You can't – that's why it's so hard for me to have this conversation with Buffalo fans because, listen, I'm a diehard Jets fan, but I'm a realist. You know what I'm saying? I'm a realist. And I'm going to tell you, if we had the kind of cast that Buffalo had, listen, if we improve like Buffalo did last year, I'm happy. I'm extremely happy because that's what we lacked last year. So I'm not saying the kid. I'm not knocking his accomplishments. The kid did a wonderful job, but he has a lot of talent around him. If you put Josh Allen on the Jets, Baker Mayfield on the Jets, man, listen, you can put the league Super Bowl MVP on the Jets, and we probably wouldn't improve. This is how bad our team has been. This is lack of talent. So it's hard to have that conversation and have that comparison. It's very difficult for me to understand how people can say that. I mean, I understand it's your team and you're going to go to war for your team, but I'm not going to argue with someone and tell me that, listen, Adam Gates is the best coach in the league. Hell no, he's not. You can't even show me.
But this is what bothers me, though. And I get the whole argument, and I get Bills fans are passionate. I get all this. But it's like you take Josh Allen, who got from rookie year to year 2, got better. No doubt about it, got better. And then they gave him Stephon Diggs, who, listen, I understand, if you start hitting him in the foot with a football, he's going to flip the fuck out. I get it. But, dude, they're putting him in a position to succeed. And right now, the Jets, it's a little bit improved this year. The offensive line's a little bit better. You hope Mims pans out. You're taking a shot with Perryman. But it's all right, I still feel like we're, a year behind Buffalo. I just hate feeling like that. And I could be completely wrong. But I just feel like we're still,
but you're right.
It's just what it feels like.
They have more talent than we have, and I would say until last year they had more competent people in the front office. They have a better head coach. They have a better feel of what his team needs to be successful. That's what they had. That was the advantage they had over us last year. This year right here, I think that we have a better GM that understands what this team needs more of. But I mean, that's just the whole point of it. I mean, that answers the argument right there. The reason he's improving is because the things around him have improved, and the reason Sam hasn't improved to our hopes and dreams is because what around him hasn't improved. His coaching hasn't improved.
But Tyrone, the other thing they did is they also play called to his strengths too. They said, "Listen, this kid can fucking run. We're gonna run him. We're gonna do what we're gonna maximize what he does." And there were times last year where you're like, why are we not rolling Sam out of the pocket? What are we doing here? Those are little intricacies where it's I try to watch other teams how they build their teams, like Lamar Jackson. I love Lamar Jackson. I love him coming out of college.
I was just about to make that point.
You know what he does, and you make him flourish with it. You say, okay, listen, this is what he does good. This is what he does bad, right? Did we do that with Sam last year?
No one saw Baltimore being as good as they were because they were like, this kid's not a quarterback. No. You have an inventive coach and a great general manager that said, you know what, we're going to take what this kid does really well and make it work for us. That's what they did. That's what he improved
as a passer too, though. He definitely improved as a passer.
Exactly. But Tyson. But, I mean, he's not – Lamar Jackson ain't 2 steps above Josh Allen. Passing-wise, He's not.
Nope.
He's exactly. So what you did was you gave him simple reads, and you let him go out there and play football, and that's what worked for them. Now this year right here, it's going to be more challenging for them this year because people are going to be able to understand what you can and can't do. But, I mean, I'm not going to take no credit from this kid, and Josh Allen's the same way. I'm not taking credit for what he's done and what he could be, but to say he's accurate or he can that last 4-minute drive, with 40 seconds left in the game, you can't run for 90 yards. You have to throw the football, sir. And if you're not accurate, sir, it's not going to work. This is my whole point. This is why I say that we're so lucky to have Sam. But Sam can run the football. But Sam is amazing at improvising plays. Sam, I'm telling you, man, listen, when I say that we got the best quarterback, when it comes back 10, 15 years from now, when they're discussing this quarterback class and everyone realizes that, the Jets got the best quarterback out this draft, then everyone will see. I'm not saying that because I'm a Jet fan. I'm just being honest. If Sam sucked, I would say he sucks. This kid is really tough. I tell you what. Go ahead.
No, listen, I agree with you. I agree with everything you're saying. But if you just think about the conversation we're having right now, and we're talking about how great Sam is, but all the things that Josh Allen has, and that's the fundamental problem. And that's where we're hoping that some of these problems start to go away because, we've already wasted 2 years. So now it's all right, year 3, does he have the prominent playmakers around him to make him a very good quarterback? The answer is I'm not really sure. Le'Veon Bell could be it. Hopefully, we have the what ifs. What if Chris Herndon stays healthy? What if Perriman's not a fraud? What if Mims could take the next step? All these what if shit. You know what I mean? What if the offensive line could be good for change? It's not an ideal scenario for a young quarterback again. At some point you want Sam to go into a season, it's probably next year, where it's all right, our offensive line is going to be a strength. We have legitimate weapons on the outside, reliable targets that he can rely. That's kind of where we're losing Robbie Anderson hurts a little bit, where it's all right, year in and year out, you have the same guy there. That guy's going to be Crowder this year. But it's you want to have the scenario where these other teams are doing it. Lamar Jackson, he knows who he's going to battle with. Like you said, with all these lack of practice and everything else, the Baltimore Ravens are ahead of the curve because they already had their system in place. They already know everything that's going on. They have the right players. They have the right fit, everything else. We're still trying to fill those pieces. Buffalo Bills, they have their core group there. Their core guys are there. We're still replacing our fucking guys. You know what I mean? They have their guys.
Well, listen, I'll say this, though, Tyson.
We're a year away.
Prior to last year, what did Buffalo do that changed their future from last year? They upgraded their offensive line.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Prior to that year, Buffalo wasn't where they were last year. They upgraded.
You know what that was, Tyrone? That was coaching, man. They coached them up. They put a system in fucking place that maximized everybody's talent.
So why can't we do that? I mean, that's what I'm saying, Tyson.
You tell me. Why can't we do that?
I mean, well, listen, let's hope that we do that. Let's hope that this offensive line is what Sam needed, what Le'Veon needed. I mean, I'm just saying that Buffalo upgraded the offensive line. They think, Buffalo played a lot better. Josh Allen played a lot better. He had time back there, let plays develop and to find the right guy. Let's hope that happens for us. So to say that we're a year behind, yeah, but what if we had the year Buffalo? Listen, if we had the year Buffalo had last year, 10-7, 10-6, whatever, I'm happy with that. I'm extremely happy with that.
All right, so then here's the question. See, I put you right into my web. So then, do we have enough talent this year to do what Buffalo did last year?
Yes, we do.
Yes, we
do, because Buffalo didn't have listen, who was Buffalo major receivers last year?
John
Beasley,
Brown, Cole Beasley.
John Brown, okay, Let me ask you a question. Their receivers without Diggs last year, are they better than what we have now? No. Are their tight ends better than what we had last year? I mean, what we have now? No. So the only interchangeable problem there was the offensive line. Now that we have a better offensive line, I'm looking for the same kind of production. But like you said, it comes down to coaching. It comes down to quarterback play. I think that we have a better quarterback, so therefore I think that our team is going to be just as good as Buffalo was last year. So if we end up 10-6, man, I'm happy. I can live with that. Listen, 9-7, I can live with that. I ain't happy with 8-8. I'm sorry, I'm not. To me, it'd be a disappointing year. But like I said, to watch Sam improve, I'm happy with that. The errant throws of Sam makes errant throws. Sam makes bad decisions. But when you have defense is in your face as you hike the ball, and you take 2 steps back, and somebody's right there. You're going to have situations like that. But that comes as growing, too. He has to grow as a quarterback. He has to develop as a young man and process information. This is his second year in the system, so he's going to understand where guys should be at. He's going to be able to see what he doesn't like and what he does like, knowing what plays work for him and what don't work. You know what I'm saying? So I'm looking forward to that definitely improvement in that. So.
Tyler, I got you heated now. This whole Josh Allen shit got you fired up.
Bro, listen, I've been going now because it's been about a month or so, man. Just like Buffalo fans just keep coming at me, bro. Like, yo. And it's like I say the same thing I'm saying on here. Like, I'm sorry. I'm not going to take away from your quarterback, but he's no. Compared to Sam Darnold, hell no. Not having that conversation, bro. No. And someone said,
Tyler,
who's better, Patrick Mahomes or Sam Darnold? Patrick Mahomes?
Tyler,
I'm just being honest.
Tyler, do you still have some time to talk? I'm going to bring on a special guest for you. Do you want to?
Yes.
You still have time?
Oh, yes. Yeah, I got time, baby. I already know who your special guest is, too. Yes, sir.
It's not going to be Steve. I didn't invite Steve. I didn't invite Steve.
Okay.
I'll tell you a quick story.
I was just checking.
No, I'll tell you a quick story. Steve, we did the fan series, right? I bring him on, and listen, I had to carry him through a 40-minute conversation. It was like, all right, whatever, dude. I did my best.
I listened to that. I listened to the show. I listened to almost every fan show you had.
So I tried carrying him through it. Like, all right, it wasn't, no really hot takes. We didn't argue or anything. He was very, calm and whatever. So I'm like, that's cool. Dude, it ain't like 4 or 5 days later, I want to do another one. I'm like, what the fuck do you want to talk about, man? I'm like, Steve, give me a list of topics that you want to talk about, and we'll talk about it. He's like, Tremaine Johnson. I'm like, all right, that's 2 minutes. He's like, the off season. I'm like, dude, you don't even have a topic. So then I'm like, give me a list of topics. I'll bring you back on. He's like, all right. So then I'm like, last Tuesday, I'm like, Steve, you want to come on? He's like, I'm busy. I don't have any topics. I'm like, you've been harassing me for 2 weeks. I'm like, you know what? You can talk to Tyrone. So.
Let's go.
No, but now your special guest.
Yes, sir.
Mr. NYSF Magazine, Jay.
Oh, baby. What up, Jay? What up, baby?
All this cursing, I can't wait to just unload fuck, shit, all the terrible words. I love it.
What is this?
What up, Jay?
Hey, you got to properly time your curses, man. We just got to flow into the conversation.
I'm sorry. I'm like a child who's like whose parents have stepped out of the room.
Well, Jay, the first question
it's like
is,
your YouTube.
Does this sound right though? Is the sound quality right or no?
It sounds good.
Because this is a whole new setup we're doing now. So now it's like it's no cell phone, all cable shit. So that's why we're trying it out.
Sounds good, man.
So now Tyrone, we're sitting here arguing.
Man?
Tyrone. You can talk to Jay, Tyrone.
Jay, how you been, baby? How you been, big homie?
Man, I'm just living the dream. I'm still trying to figure out how Steve gets 15 fan interviews, and they haven't even got me on once. They don't care about old Jay anymore.
See, man? That's the love, man. The love, baby. Listen, I remember the last time I was with you two. I'm not going to bring up that night. I'm just saying. I had a really, really good time with you two guys.
I have a video of that night.
No.
Made me promise never ever.
That video can go nowhere.
Don't do that. No. Hey,
what happens in Virginia stays in Virginia.
Hey, what's the name of that game we played? What's the game called? What's the name of that game?
That was a long night, man. That game was called Get Drunk. I played that game a lot.
That game. We were doing the Washington apple shots. Oh, my God.
Yes.
Oh,
hey, listen, bro.
Gross.
My cup was never empty. I'll say that, buddy. My cup was never empty. I will say that.
And the funny thing was, Tyrone,
that was a long weekend.
The best part of all that is we did all that chaos, and we're there on the practice field before practice started by Jay? It was 8:30. They changed the practice time. It was supposed to be later in the day. They moved it to the morning, and we were there early as hell.
Yeah, and that was right when I was in the middle of being half. That was right when I was in the middle of being half dead too. I was so sick, and I was out there. I was drinking with you guys all night. I had no business getting involved with you guys, man. It was crazy. That was like the best night of the year, though. Man, it was crazy.
Hey, you know what's really crazy? Nah, what's really crazy is your boy Tyson didn't want the night to end. He was like, "Where we going next?" Like home, like sleep.
Yo, man. Look, but the thing is, Ty, to be honest though, if we're gonna be honest here, listen, when I live by the Jersey Shore, man, we're gonna go out. We're going out strong, not like with a bar with like 3 people inside. I want like action and chaos till 4 o'clock in the morning, and like, that's how we roll around here, man.
Yeah, Ty was like, yo, man, it was like a random Tuesday night in the middle of the summer in Richmond, Virginia. Ty's like, yo, where's the action? What the hell's going on? I was like, Ty, it's Richmond, Virginia, dude. I don't know we're in the damn capital of the Confederacy. They still haven't taken down their Civil War monuments in here yet. There's nowhere to go out.
This is not Jersey. Yo, exactly. Yeah. This is not the shore, baby. This is Richmond. Chick close at 9 o'clock. Stop playing.
We still found a wild local pack of chicks to hang out with, though. That was a good night.
Oh, yeah.
We do. It's ridiculous.
Yeah,
so now, Jay, Tyrone is rolling here. So we'll ask you the same question. If you look at this team right now as it currently stands, how many true impact players, legitimate impact players are on? So we could say, like, obviously offense, we'll give you Le'Veon Bell and Sam Darnold. Is there anybody else like a legitimate game-breaking talent?
Nope.
Wow.
No, not at all.
What about Chris Herndon? You don't think Chris Herndon?
That's a J answer, baby. That's a J answer.
Well, look, listen. I mean, there's a lot of potential. I mean, you could say, what about Chris Herndon? What about Mims? Could Mims be that? Maybe. Could Herndon be that? Maybe. Herndon has shown that he can play when he's been on the field. He's also shown he can barely get on the field. So I mean, who knows? But good thing they axed the the trainer. I'm happy we got that clown out of here. You know what's funny about Adam Gase? Adam Gase's lasting legacy with the Jets could be equal parts terrible coaching and also getting terrible people fired, because he seems to like that guy's the Turk, man. He's the Grim Reaper, man. He comes in and he's just I can't even hate on what he's doing with cleaning out the organization of the stench, because get rid of the trainer and McCagnon. I mean, those are 2 big problems. So
what's wrong with the trainer? What did the trainer do wrong? They were fine under Todd Bowles. What did you blame the trainer? Okay, Jay, if we want to go down that road,
always injuries, always guys. Come on,
the same injury problem he had in Miami, and now you're blaming the Jets coach? Come on, man.
Oh, listen, he's definitely part of
that. Shit.
I agree that injury bug follows him around, man. But any and all people in that front office that want to get fired can get fired, as far as I'm concerned. That front office.
But Jay, here's my question though. If you want to give Gase credit, can you please explain to me how, when you have the worst offense in the NFL, when your offensive line was a clusterfuck, how nobody gets fired? Can you tell me how nobody gets fired?
Nobody.
I flew a goddamn airplane over New York City to fire that clown. If it was up to me, I'd fire them all.
I was just about to bring that up. Jay, I got a question for you, Jay. Listen, you pulled the G move of the year, bro. Jay flew a fucking flag and had a van right around the stadium with Gates' face on it, talking about fire Gates and new ownership. Jay, listen, I never want to piss you off, Jay. Like, listen, your go hard is go hard, bro. Like, you don't play around at all. I got one question for you, Jay. I got one question for you. You don't think Crowder's going to be an impact player this year? You don't think Crowder? What about Crowder? How do you feel about Crowder?
Crowder's a good slot receiver for sure. I mean, look, he's another guy though. He stayed healthy last year, but Crowder, I mean, I'm concerned about, like, we got a lot of guys that have long histories of injury problems, right? I mean, that seems to be our MO. I mean, and he's got guys on 1-year prove-it deals all across the board. This is gonna be a weird kind of year, because you got a lot of guys that are fighting for contracts, but then if they earn them, then it seems like he doesn't really want to pay anyone. He doesn't want to pay Jamal. He doesn't want to pay. So it's like, let's see what happens. But Crowder. You want to call him an impact player? I mean, I don't know these impact players. Like, when I think of an impact player, I think of, like, a Pro Bowler. I don't think Crowder's a Pro Bowler. I don't think that I don't think we have any Pro Bowlers. I mean, Herndon could be one, and Le'Veon Bell has proven that he's one. And
could you call just my 2 other guys? I said Bell, Darnold. I said McGovern and Becton, and the reason why was because the center position, the left tackle, was so bad last year. It's like, listen, if Becton could be a dominant force in the run game, he could actually be a tremendous, asset to the offense, where you can start actually protecting Sam, let him flourish. The center position was a complete nightmare. Could they be considered impact players, you think, or no?
For sure. Listen, we're so young in certain spots. So if we get Mims and and Becton and Herndon to all be those impact players that you got. I mean, growing with Darnold, I mean, you got your tight end, wide receiver, and a left tackle with your young quarterback. I mean, now you're cooking with gas with that defense. So, but those guys got to be developed, and we don't have the coaching staff to develop players, unfortunately. So, we are especially not on the offensive side of the ball. So, we'll see what happens this year, man. I'm so my optimism is so drained. I just want to I'm hoping for the best. I mean, if they go out and prove it, then I'll be pleasantly surprised and proven wrong. But I don't think that this offense is... Just say
if the offensive line is a little bit better, you have in theory you have enough playmakers, at least be Sam's, should do something with it. But on defense, how many impact players do you have on defense? You say Mosley, you got Adams. Is there anybody else you could say? Could you maybe buy into Quinton Williams? Is there anybody that you would else consider?
Quinton could be that. I think Marcus May could be that. I mean, Marcus May is a good player, man.
Yes,
Marcus May is a good damn player. I think a borderline Pro Bowl player. It'd be a real shame to lose him. And then, I think that even a guy like, if he could come back and be what he was before, even a guy like Avery Williamson was a pretty damn good player. So we got players all over the defense. And even, I mean, like some of those young defensive linemen started picking it up last year. A guy like Nate Shepard and Foley Fatakasi. I mean, those guys, I don't want to say they're impact players, but they could definitely be good players.
Terrell Basham played well.
Basham,
talk that talk, Jay.
We got some good players out there.
So then, Jay,
definitely got some good players out there. I'll see what happens. We got a cornerback.
Based on what you just said, this is called a radio segment, a transition right here. Based on what you just said, could the Jets do this year what the Bills did last year and make it? You could go 10-6 with improved talent.
Nope. We don't have the coaching and we don't have that easy schedule the Bills had last year. This team will be lucky to win 8 games and likely will be winning about 6. All right.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
I have a question, Jay.
I hope I'm wrong. I don't see it.
Jay, I have a question for you, Jay. I got a really good question for you, Jay. Jay, what is so? If you're saying no, but I want to ask you. I want you to go a little deeper in depth to why you're saying no. But let me say something first before you reply to this. Okay, Buffalo didn't have the receiving talent that we had last year. Only thing really Buffalo did was improve their line. I understand with coaching, but we have a quarterback that I think that's kind of able to adapt without coaching. So I'm asking you, with what you see our team have improved to, do you think we could be as good as Buffalo without the talent they had last year?
I think that this team measures up talent-wise and with potential talent-wise, but I just don't think that we have the coaching, the game plans, the adjustments that are going to be necessary against good teams to win too many games. I mean, you saw what Adam Gase was this year against bad teams and bad quarterbacks. I don't want to keep harping on it, man, but this team would come out on their first drive and show they had the talent to play. They would score touchdowns on the first drive almost every freaking game until the other coaching staff made an adjustment, especially a halftime adjustment. And then the second half, we went to shit. I forgot I can curse again, and now I'm allowed to use it as well, Tigers. Complete shit after halftime. So so the thing is, you look at even the games that we won, right? Even the Dallas game. Let's talk about the Dallas game for a second. We dominated in the first half and got our asses kicked in the second half, and Jamal bailed us out at the end there. Otherwise, they get the 2-point conversion on that play and probably beat us in overtime when we blow our second 17 whatever point lead at home in a row. So the Bills game, I mean, just because Mosley went out doesn't mean we should have lost that Bills game. I mean, I get it. Mosley was making a big impact on that game, but one player shouldn't be the difference of you blowing that kind of lead at home. So, and on and on and on and on. And it was the same story every week. There were a couple games where they played played well. They had that little winning streak, that 3-game winning streak when they pummeled the Raiders and beat up on the Redskins and stuff. And so you started to get some hope. But dude, they couldn't even beat up on the Bills. They couldn't even beat up on the Bills B squad on the last game of the year. They couldn't even they could do nothing against that team. They're a practice squad.
Jay, how do you feel about the Cincinnati loss?
Dude, that game.
But Jay, if you go back to what Tyrone said, though, and it's interesting because we went through like impact players on both sides of the ball and the moves that Buffalo did. Like to me, it's like the Jets are 1 year behind Buffalo. So we're kind of trying to figure out, can the Jets do what Buffalo did last year with making a big jump up, which, a big jump up from 7 wins could be 9 wins, or the schedule could be a difference too. But do they have enough talent to be very competitive where it's like, all right, Sam Darnold plays very well, return to C.J. Mosley, you add some other pieces, Pierre Desir, all these guys. Can they be a very competitive 8-win team just based on just the improved talent?
I think they should be, but I don't think they will be. That's the difference. I definitely think they should be. I think they have the talent to compete. If you have, they're young. They're very, very young. So, and not only that, but on top of the fact that they're very young and very thin in some spots. They're thin at wide receiver with, very young, like imagine you lose Crowder and Mims doesn't develop, at a very fast pace. Who do you have? You have nothing. So,
Yep.
It's like, I don't know, man. I like this team. There's so many what ifs and so many possibilities, but then who's the man who's supposed to develop that young talent? It's just he's a look, man. Gase is just not a good coach, and I know everyone wants to try and do find stats to convince themselves otherwise, but just use your eyes and look at what you saw in Miami. Look what you see here. Look what you saw in Chicago. In every place that he's been, besides when he had Peyton Manning in his freaking prime. The guy's just been a bad coach. And, Samini tweeted out that article today. I forget who wrote it. Someone on ESPN talking about
Mike Clay,
how he's just been a bottom feed. Yeah, Mike Clay just been a bottom feeding play caller for every year except when he had Peyton Manning. And so, how Peyton Manning audibles the line. Peyton Manning is, Omahaing and all the crap that he does. Like, Peyton Manning really does it matter? Does it matter who Michael Jordan's coach was? Does it matter? It's like, yeah. Maybe it makes a small difference or whatever, but like Peyton Manning was going to do what he was going to do in Denver pretty much no matter who his coach was. So I spare me those stats when he's done nothing outside of that to back those stats up. So that's where my negativity comes from. It's the whole offensive coaching staff, not just Gase. It's everybody. And like you said, nobody got fired. Nobody got replaced. There was no accountability. So continuity, yay. We're continuously the 32nd rank. So maybe now this year, so because of continuity and a little more familiarity and a little more talent, so what? Then you go up 7-8 spots. You're the 24th ranked offense in football. Still not good. So then, Jay,
the question we have is me and Tyrone have it for you because we've already argued about this. Is the big hot topic today was Josh Allen versus Sam Darnold, and to me the argument makes no sense for a variety of reasons. First off, because the situations are so different. I just think that Josh Allen is in a better system that's catered to him with better coaching, better weapons around him, especially now with Diggs. It's just like you're not comparing apples to apples right now. Like if you put Sam Darnold in Buffalo, they probably would have won 12 games last year. You put Josh Allen here last year, we'd probably been worse. Like, is it fair to even try to compare these quarterbacks right now based on where they are in like the states of their team?
Hold on, Jay. Hold on 1 second, Jay. Before you answer that, one more thing, Jay. Hey, give an honest assessment of Josh Allen while we're talking. All right, buddy. Your time.
I'm not a big fan of Josh Allen. I think that he makes some plays with his feet. Can't throw to save his life, and I don't think you can win games with a quarterback that can't throw unless you put some ridiculous defense around him like a Trent Dilfer situation, and you just gotta But Josh Allen, I'm not sold on him. I don't think he's a very good quarterback. I think that if you had a redraft, there's not one chance that I would take Josh Allen over Sam Darnold, not Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or any day of the week. I'd still take Sam Darnold over him. I'd still take Sam Darnold over Baker Mayfield and any other quarterback in that draft, to be honest. Besides, Lamar Jackson,
but Jay, if you looked
is in a great situation.
Listen, I agree with you, but if you looked at all the young quarterbacks, and you can list probably 6 of them, you can go Kyler Murray, Baker Mayfield, Lamar Jackson, all of them. You look at their situations and say, who is in the best position to win football games and flourish? Where is Sam Darnold ranked among all of them? It's probably last.
Dead last.
Look at Mayfield. Mayfield's surrounded by superstars, right?
It's dead last. It's so far
right?
last when you consider who his coaches are, who his talent is, and the fact that they've now they gave him one coach the first year, a defensive minded head coach, moved on to Adam Gase the second year, and his little friend Dowell Loggins, and dude, the Jets have done nothing to it. And if you look at his supporting cast, they've done nothing to help Sam Darnold. And the fact that Sam Darnold has played as well as he's played and has put up the stats that he's put up, all things considered, is freaking unbelievable. But the guy's got to. I mean, what makes me really scared to think is like, if Sam Darnold doesn't have the year that we all hope he has, if he has a repeat of last year or doesn't really have any significant improvement, my fear, which will really, I don't know if I could take it if this happens. I don't know how much more fandom I have left in me if this happens. But could you imagine if they allow? I put this on my Twitter like 2 months ago, and it was a clear answer. But could you imagine if Sam doesn't play well this year and they bring back Gase next year and allow Gase to pick a quarterback in the draft, and they draft another guy?
Wow.
I mean,
wow.
I want you to tell me how that would make you feel as a fan, because I know how I'd feel. I that could be my breaking point.
I'm done.
That could be my breaking point.
There's no way that they'll realize how talented Sam Darnold is. To me, Sam Darnold right now is the best quarterback in our division, of course, but he's the best quarterback in that draft. Jay, you were absolutely correct when you said that. So me and Tyson were really going at it over the Josh Allen thing because, like, Jay, you hit every point that I said. I think he's not a good quarterback. But
Tyrone, don't start spinning this shit on me, dude. Do not start spinning this shit. I'm just saying that.
No,
listen. I think Sam Darnold's a better quarterback, but I think every young quarterback, almost everyone in the NFL, has got a better situation than Sam Darnold with coaching, staff, the staff, the players around him, the scheme, everything.
Do we know that Gase loves? Do we know that Gase loves Darnold though? Do we know that Gase loves Darnold? Because as far as I'm concerned, and from what I know from the New York media, from what I know of who is tied at the hip with our buddy Adam Gase and who does PR on behalf of him through the media, every time I see an article come out that says this is putting pressure on Sam Darnold, he needs to step up this year. And he's like. It almost like it's setting up him being scapegoated if all doesn't go well, like it's the quarterback's fault, like he's not picking up Gase's system. And I'm telling you right now, if the front office is that crazy that they try and sell that to the fans after this season's over, if the team goes 6-10, and Gase wants to move on from Darnold at that point and pick his own quarterback in the draft, that would be too much for me, honestly. I don't think I don't know how much more I could take.
There's no scenario where they can sell that to the fans. There's no scenario where you can sell that you want to get rid of Sam Darnold. I mean, it'd be a straight mutiny out here for that, man. That's not going to happen. I mean, I think the major problem is Gase. I just think that he's not a really good coach, but he should have never been hired. But at the end of the day, I think that Sam is going to progress. And Sam right now to me is what we've been waiting on. We have not had a quarterback in I can't even name Chad Penny. Benny? I mean, it's been that long. So to have a quarterback that's young, talented, that's working hard, the grinder, keeps his nose down, no, it's coaching. But I think that each year we're going to improve. I mean, everyone knows that our organization, has been a problem. It's been this kind of situation we've had since the beginning of time. It seems like they didn't need to get the right people in. And I think that with Joe Douglas, he has to make a real choice this season. It's time to move on. It's time to get the right people in.
Yeah, but see, Tyrone, it's easy to say that. It's easy to say that, but what is the criteria to say that Adam Gase did a good job this year? Like, what is it? Like, my criteria is this offense has got to be top 20. Like, listen, they could win 5 games, 6 games as long as Sam Darnold's playing lights out and this offense is moving the ball. That's progress. But if they go 7-9 or 6-10,
have a top 20 offense, and you're like the defense would have to melt down. I don't see that happening this year. I think the defense is too talented, and Greg Williams showed he can make moves with the guys that he has. So, I mean, why would we have a top 20 offense and be 5-11? That would be almost impossible.
Yeah, I'm saying my parameters for is this offense has got to be significantly better, and the whole reason why Adam Gase was hired is for Darnold. Like, he's got to become a star, right, man. Like, it shouldn't take 5 years to become a star. It should happen you should have started glimmers last year, but it's got to be like this year, next year. Like, you've got to become the guy. That's he's got to help him.
Let me ask you guys a question. So, okay, if we get rid of Gates, right?
You got a lot of questions, man. God damn.
Hey, listen, man, I got to ask him, baby. I got two of the best in the business on the phone. I got to do what I got to do.
What is this question?
If you get rid of Gates, right, did you get rid of Greg Williams as well?
That's a good question.
Yeah, well, listen, here's the problem. And the Jets always do everything half-assed and ass backwards. They hired Greg Williams basically hired Greg Williams first last time. Like, that's why we have Adam Gase in the first place, was because we were so set on bringing in Greg freaking Williams, who
and
I
Brent
like,
Boyer.
don't get me wrong, but the problem is that we wanted to dictate who the guy's coaching staff was going to be. Like, that didn't work, and Rule walked out the door because of it. Rule could be our coach right now, and then, who knows what would be going on. Who knows what kind of offense we would have had. So, I don't know, man. I mean, I don't want to lose Greg Williams. So, I mean, the question, a lot of people are proponents of making Greg Williams, if Gase gets fired, making Greg Williams the head coach.
Absolutely. Now we talk.
I'm not really necessarily on board for that, but
no.
I don't know, man. Greg Williams seems like he has a shelf life places.
Well, to me, they should have hired Eric Bieniemy. That should have been offensive coordinator. It should have been.
But that's your answer though. Like if they fire Gase, Eric Bieniemy would be the hottest candidate, and then you ask him, say, listen, you can interview Greg Williams to keep him. If you don't want to keep him, then he's fired. And say, listen, you bring the staff that you feel most comfortable with, and that's it. Like you're not gonna handcuff a guy and say, listen, here's the job that you got to inherit half your staff. Who the fuck wants that job? So you just got to be like, listen, we're cleaning house, everybody's gone, and you hire who you want.
But why do you hire Gates when he sucked in Miami? That was a bad hire from the beginning.
We're not going down that. We're not going down that path again. Jesus Christ, we spent 3 months talking about that shit, man. I can't go down. Listen, Tyrell, let's talk about more positive things. You're killing me. You're bringing my anger out again. What the hell's going on here?
Hey man, listen. This is the same team that allowed their GM to do free agency. Do the draft and be fired. That's the dumbest ass backwards thing I've ever seen, and it's hard to get over that, but we did. So I mean, it's just as we persevere.
I'm bringing us back to happy.
I was trying to ruin my night too.
Jay, who are two sleepers? One on offense, one on defense. Two guys that could surprise everybody.
One on offense, one on defense. Let's see. I don't want to give you any dead air time, so I'm just going to throw you at the first name that pops into my head.
Never stop Steve. We get plenty of dead air with Steve's on, so don't worry about it. Let's go with Braxton Berrios. Whoa.
Maybe he makes the team and gives us a little something out of the wide receiver spot. Maybe I kind of like him. He's shifty and quick. He could play some specials. Maybe he steps up this year. I don't know. I mean, there's not too many guys that will really surprise you, right? On offense, I mean, everyone's kind of locked into their spots. Like you got a couple tight ends that that are going to make the team and are going to play. You got a couple running backs. I mean, who are you going to say? P. Ryan at running back? I mean, maybe that would be a guy, but I don't know.
I went further back than him.
Who'd you say?
I took Josh Adams. Notre Dame, baby.
This is how bad.
You always have some guy. One of these years you're going to hit on that because you always pull some random guy like, what's his name? That little running back from North Carolina that you love.
Romar Morris.
Romar
Morris. You always have a guy like the Greg Salas. There's always a guy that you cling to, and then you're going to claim him until he gets cut.
This is how bad of talent we have on this damn team. When you guys say Berrios and Josh Allen, this is why.
No, I don't know why it would be a surprise. Like Crowder's not going to be a surprise.
Mims
wouldn't be a surprise. I mean, I'm just trying to give you a sleeper, a guy that could do something. I don't know.
No. I understand where you're coming from, but this is the whole problem with having real talent on our team. I mean, this is the reason why we're hoping for guys to perform that really would be the third or fourth option on any team.
What about that wide receiver Cager? I kind of like him too. I mean, he seems to have a little vibe with Sam Darnold, and I was watching some of the highlights of them down in Miami. I wish I knew where they were going to be and what time. I would have driven down there and gotten us some footage. But
I know. Hey Jay, I was looking for you to throw something up. I was like, man, I hope Jay or somebody's out there really, because you didn't get much from that. You didn't really get a lot.
Well, you know what the problem is? All my guys that I talk to that are on the team are no longer on the damn team pretty much. I mean, like everyone's gone. I kind of I kind of worked my way through the locker room and jinxed everybody. Their careers are all over. They're all so young too. Crazy. But that's a damn shame. But I don't know, people that used to give me some information like that and tell me how to get down there. I mean, that entire field was just people I got no connections to anymore. So, oh well. So Jay, how would you assess Tyrone's performance? He's got a lot of questions, man. Tyrone's performance, man. He's I'll give him sleeper status, man. He's up and coming. Tyrone's out of nowhere, man.
See, Jay, what you don't realize is Tyrone's now a celebrity. We actually got to book him to come on the show because now he's doing podcasts like every fucking night. So now it's like he's signing autographs. I mean, he's a celebrity, dude. Like this is we're just privileged right now.
That's how it is. You know how it goes, man. See, the second you start a podcast, the best way to promote your podcast is to get people from other podcasts to be on your podcast, and then what you do is you the people who listen to that podcast will listen to your podcast, so you wind up getting 2 podcast audiences out of it. And then if you get 2 podcast people, then maybe you get 3 podcast audiences on there. So that's the best promotion there is.
But
I don't have a podcast.
Tyrone would never have a podcast, so don't worry about it. I'm good.
I don't have a podcast.
I enjoy this.
But don't worry, I will soon. When the Jet season starts back up, I think I'm going to round the truth back up. Me, Primetime, Fireman Ed, and Rob Carpenter, we're going to have to start off a Zoom version of NYJF TV. I'm looking forward to that. And we'll have.
What the fuck are you waiting for? Let's go.
Well, I mean,
y'all kicked ass last year,
about.
but that was what y'all had going on last year, man. Y'all was killing it last year, man. So I hope definitely, Jay, you know what I'm saying, you definitely get back into that, bro, and definitely have that for us, man. We appreciate that, bro. Like I said, man, anytime you can see Fireman there, bro, it's always a bonus in my book.
And then Tyrone will go on there and charge you guys $100.
Fireman had hated what I was doing last year with the gay stuff because he actually supports gays and I respect that. He gave me a lot of shit last year from for the way I was acting. He didn't like it. He thought that it was ridiculous and embarrassing. But the beautiful thing is, man, the only reason I'm telling this story is because, with the climate of the world nowadays and how everyone is, man, I know everyone's not always going to agree on things. Everyone's going to have different perspectives and opinions, but you know what? The important thing is to respect other people's, opinions, and then that way, when somebody calls you an idiot because they don't like the way that you're acting, you can give them a hug afterwards and tell them you still love them. You know what I'm saying? So me and Ed are cool.
That's the way it's supposed to be.
Exactly. He didn't love what I did last year with the gay stuff, and I'll tell you what, if the Jets go 11-5 this year and win the AFC East, he's going to give me shit the entire year about what a clown I am for trying to get that.
Dude, he went after me too, man.
A lot of people
he went after me big time. He was like, "What are you doing?"
They're gonna come after all of them, the whole lot of them, and I would love to be the biggest idiot ever. I already said it. I said it multiple times on my Twitter, Tyrone. But if the Jets make the playoffs this year, that's all it's going to take. The Jets make the playoffs this year. I go into my pocket and I put a billboard up on the turnpike that says FireJasonCopel.com and a public apology on a billboard to Adam Gase. I want to do it.
Yes, sir.
I'm looking forward to it.
Hey, listen.
So go prove it.
You know what's crazy? The Fireman Ed interview Tyson did was dope as hell. When I say Fireman Ed started cussing from the beginning to the end, he didn't hold nothing back. So I really enjoyed that one, man. Always a pleasure talking to Fireman Ed, man. One of the best ever.
Fireman Ed was ripping me apart of that interview, man. He wasn't saying my name by name, but I know he was talking about me. He was killing me. That's my boy. He was killing me. That's all right. And the best thing about that is that I'm in a no-lose situation. See, like everybody that's telling me I'm an idiot, the receipts will come around if he goes 5-11 this year and he gets fired. But if the shoe's on the other foot, I'm just going to be laughing while everybody's talking shit to me because I'm like, you know what? I got a playoff game to go to. I got no time to listen to your bullshit.
Yep,
so
that's
it's all
right.
good.
Absolutely.
Either way, it's a win-win for me.
Hey Jay, I already said this, and I'm gonna throw this out there. The Jets go to the Super Bowl and win the Super Bowl for that parade. I'm gonna be butt-ass naked with a Jets hat on and some Timbs on, baby, at the parade, baby. That's gonna be me. Let's get it.
Woo.
That's a vision.
Man, I kind of hope they don't win one now, man.
That just changed the whole mode of the show, man. The whole show got quiet. We had dead air all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Oh, listen.
I'm out.
Listen.
No parade for me.
Hey, the chance of that happening, man, is slim to none. So I'm gonna be okay. But nah, man, honestly, man, I just think that listen, you guys have to agree, man. We're going in the right direction. It's not the direction that we wanted at the speed we wanted, but we're definitely better than we were last year. So that's all we can hope for.
We are heading in the right direction. I'm not all negative. I'm not all negative. So I'm with you. We're heading in the right direction. I like what Joe Douglas is doing. I think he had a good offseason. I think he did, considering the resources and assets that he had. I think he did about as good a job as you can do. If you go back and listen to past shows, Let's Talk Jets shows where I, before the postseason start, before the off season started, and asking kind of what I wanted to see. I really didn't want to see them spend any big money on any one particular free agent. I wanted them to spread the money around, make a lot of, budget signings and value picks and all that stuff, and trade down and pick up extra picks and all that stuff that I want. Pick up a wide receiver, pick up an offensive line. Everything that I wanted him to do, he did, and so I got really no complaints. I think that I definitely think we're in that department heading in the right direction. I think that we're gonna have to suffer through another year of Gase though, and then infuse another one of Joe Douglas's draft classes in here, another $100 million in free agency, sign the guys that earn their contracts this year, and bring in a new offensive coach next year. And I think that then we'll really be back optimistic and looking forward to to some fun and some wins.
Jay, once again, good to talk to you, man. Welcome back to Let's Talk Jets, and you've talked to a superstar in Tyrone, so this can be a very monumental, big moment for you.
Allow me to shamelessly plug NJMMA.com, Ty, while I got you on the phone, man, because I feel like
that's right. Jay, thanks for calling in, man. We appreciate it.
Hey, man, appreciate it, Jay. Do your thing, baby. Do your thing, Jay.
Have a good night, man.
See, Tyrone, that was your first caller, man. You took your first caller. How'd that feel?
Hey, man, it was amazing, bro. You had Jay on there, bro. Jay's a veteran, man. Jay's one of the architects of the show, man. So, always talking to Jay, man. Jay has a great perspective, cool as hell, man. So it's all right, bro. I'm always happy with that. I appreciate the opportunity to let me on the show, man. I definitely do. So Tyrone,
as we wrap things, go ahead.
I ain't no damn celebrity either. Stop saying that, man.
No, man. I'm gonna be tracking your podcast schedule now. I'm gonna see what appearances you're making and seeing what's going on, and I'm gonna see how you roll. I know how it is.
Hey, don't worry about it. Next time you call me on, I'm gonna need you to cash out me a couple dollars first. All right. I'm gonna start doing.
I gotta call your agent first.
Absolutely. Call Steve, baby. We got it.
Dude, I give you credit because, we used to do that all the time. We were just hustling. We're always going on podcasts. And some of them, dude, it was like, holy shit. It was just like, all right, what are we doing here? You'll see. You're going to go on somebody's, man. They're going to be like, what the hell is this show? What are we doing? You'll give a really good take and they're quiet. You overpower them. You're like, oh, boy, this is bad. You'll see. You're going to do it. I know you are. I know your personality. You're going to do it. You'll see.
I enjoy it, man. Anybody talking Jets, man, I'm always open for conversation. I enjoy it. I enjoy just being able to give my perspective and my view of the team and what I like to see happen. I know none of this means nothing to nobody, but at the end of the day, man, talking to you, just talking Jets, man, it hasn't really been a show. We've just been talking. We're doing the same stuff we do when we talk on the phone. So, it's no difference. You know what I'm saying? So that's the best part about tonight was for me. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, that's the whole thing. I'm not going to go down. It's so weird how podcasts and a lot of these fan shows have changed, where it's just all of a sudden everybody's an analyst and an expert and all this shit, and it's wow, man, how did this change so fast? If I want film study, I'm going to watch Brian Baldinger. You know what I mean? I'm going to go.
Yes, sir. Oh my God.
You know what I mean? It's just so weird. I just like being a fan, man. I'm just going to throw my takes out there. If you don't like them, I don't really care. And it's just whatever. We're just rolling it together,
Hey, and Baldinger, bro, I had to say this, bro. When I say, man, he be on point, bro,
yep.
Yo, I be looking forward to what he puts out, man. He doesn't miss a beat, man. I love him, bro. I love what he does, man. That's who, when the show gets up and running again, That needs to be your first guest, man.
Dude, I've tried.
I've
talked to him a couple times, man. I don't know if he's skeptical about it or not. Like, I've tried. Like, he's responded to me. Like, I've talked to him about it, and he's like, well, this and that. And I'm like, listen, I don't know. We'll see. We'll try.
His takes are hot, man. He definitely gets it, man. And Jay was hot, man. You were fired tonight, bro. Like I said, man, great show tonight, bro. Great show.
Well, you're doing awesome. So now, like, you got to give out all your information and give out your Showtime schedule so everybody knows where they can find you. So what's all your information, man?
All right, well, listen, man. You can find me on Facebook, TIPEZY Johnson. You can find me at TIP_EZY91 on Instagram, and Tyrone Johnson 54 on Twitter. And if you have a problem with anything I said, feel free to comment. If I don't reply, I probably don't give two shits. Just letting you know now. But real talk, man. Anybody want to talk Jets, man? I'm always with you guys, man. You already know what it is.
Yeah, man, and that's the number one thing. Like, David used to always, like, Angry David used to always ask for advice. Like, hey, man, how do you do it? I'm like, the number one thing is there's going to be good feedback and bad feedback. You can't take it personal either way, man, because some people are just going to come after you, and it's just all part of the shit. It is what it is. So you just can't take it personal. It's just, we're all having fun.
I mean, it's your opinion. So at the end of the day, man,
yeah,
whatever you decide, or how you feel is how you feel. I mean, we can watch, and like you said, it's people who view this team and see us ready to win a Super Bowl, and this team to see us, 8-8. So I mean, it's an open perspective. The season is 1 in 15. So I mean, I just think how you view things. But like I said, right now it's a hard time to have content about Jets. I mean, it's hard to to really have a show right now to keep people interested because everybody's regurgitating the same thing. There's no moves, there's no trades. So basically, you're just really giving your opinion. I think what you've done with the fan series was amazing, man. I think that was so dope, man. You had guys that call on a regular, you can hear their opinions. Listen to these guys, their stories and where they're from and what they do and why they love the Jets, man. And why, that's what it's all about, man. Like, why you love this team. At the end of the day, we have one thing in common. We all love this team, regardless, win, lose, or draw. We can say that, we're 1 in 15 and we're still going to watch the damn game. We're still going to root for the Jets. We're still going to put our shirt on. Still put our hat on. We're not going to. Nothing's going to change with that. Nothing. You know what I'm saying? A good friend of mine says nothing changes but the weather. You feel me? You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So, I mean, I'm always with it.
Well, Tyrone, first of all, thank you very much for your time. The second week in a row, I'm having a blast. This has been fun as shit. I'm enjoying every second of it. Thank you very much for your time. This is fun, dude. I can do this shit every day. I've been laughing the whole time.
Yo, man, listen. We gotta love with one understanding, bro. Like, the one thing about us, bro, we don't really give two shits. So it's real easy to sit back and talk Jets, man. That's easy for us.
So, listen, man, have a good night. Thank you again for coming on. We'll do it again. We'll do it next Tuesday if you want. We can find something to talk about. But I appreciate you helping me out, man.
Hey,
definitely a good time.
Hey, no problem, bro. I appreciate you, brother. You be good, all right?
You too. Take care.
All right, go.
All right, let's talk Jets radio. It looks like our software is working, which is good news. We can take live calls again without all cell phone sounds and everything else. So if you want to follow us on Instagram, Twitter, at Talk Jets Radio, YouTube, Let's Talk Jets Radio, and I'm Tyson Roush, TRAUCH21. Also follow Kevin Sirkin, and I'll talk to you guys next time.